New Delhi, early hours of August 13th, 1965. A dozen people carrying hammers, chisels, ladders and buckets of tar, activists of the Samyukta Socialist Party, silently made their way to the All India War Memorial, better known to you today as India Gate, through the deserted pre-dawn streets of the country's capital. They headed straight for the white figure of King George V, former British monarch and one-time Emperor of India. As they approached his statue, two policemen stepped forward and challenged the group.
Stop! Where are you going?
Leading to a brief scuffle in which one of the police constables was knocked unconscious and the other left badly beaten. The activists hacked off the king's crown, ear and nose and went on to smear his statue with tar. In a final gesture of defiance, the socialists adorned the monument with a picture of Subhash Chandra Bose, clearly signalling who they thought should have been there instead. The assault was widely condemned in India's English language press.
This is perverted patriotism.
But the movement had by then gathered momentum. Just 3 days earlier, on August 10, 1965, a municipal watchman, to his horror, found the marble statues of Lord Cornwallis and Lord Wellesley beheaded at Hanuman Circle in then Bombay. Soon reports of noses being chopped off to absolute demolition of the approximately 170 statues left behind from the British colonial era poured in from all parts of the country, except curiously from the south. Readers who can enlighten us why statues were not toppled in the south, please post a comment. The crown of Queen Victoria, who sat on a magnificent marble throne at MG Road in Bombay, had been broken. From the intersections of the busiest streets of Calcutta, statues of 13 British men had to be taken down from their pedestals. To save the statues from vandalism, they were shifted from public spaces to Victoria Memorial in Barakpur in West Bengal, Coronation Park in Delhi, and Rani Bagh in Bombay. While most statues were pulled down and left to gather mud, graffiti, and rust, Delhi's statue of King Edward VII, about to be destroyed in 1969, was bought by a prominent Canadian art collector and placed in Toronto's Queen's Park. One can sympathize with the people of independent India who were dumping their colonial oppressors one after another. But of late, especially in the last few years, India saw another round of assault on statues. And this time the statues toppled were all Indian and across the spectrum. Jan Sangh founder Shyama Prasad Mukherjee's statue in Kolkata was defaced by leftists. Founder of the Dravidian movement and social reformer Periyar in Tamil Nadu was attacked by BJP vandals. Former Congress Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi in Punjab and multiple statues of Mahatma Gandhi and B.R. Ambedkar were defaced. Unfathomably, even Waghia's statue, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj's faithful dog, who it is believed threw himself into his master's funeral pyre, was not spared for some inexplicable reason. Investigating the reason for caste conflict in Tamil Nadu, home to 708 statues, 227 of the Thevar community, 81 of Mahatma Gandhi and 66 of Dr. Ambedkar, retired Justice S. Mohan concluded.
Riots often sprang from mere rumors about disrespect to statues. Government and private bodies are advised to avoid installing any new ones.
What started as a patriotic act, the removal of British-era statues, has now turned inwards against Indians themselves. The Russians did the same after the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, toppling 376 statues of Lenin from the 5,500 that dotted just Ukraine alone. Changing names of cities is an extension of this attempt to erase, though some would prefer to use the word reclaim history. After renaming cities, it was the turn of monuments and roads. India's Victoria Terminus in Bombay became Shivaji Terminus in Mumbai. Delhi's Viceroy House, which was the most hateful symbol of colonial rule, remained unblemished but was renamed Rashtrapati Bhavan. However, many places and institutions still exist with British-era names. The Victoria Memorial in Kolkata is the city's pride. Delhi still has its Connaught Place. Great cities, however, retain their history rather than destroy it. Even after the Americans defeated the English in 1776, made famous by Paul Revere's ride, New York City retained the name given to it in 1664 in honor of James II, the Duke of York, a notorious slave trader in his time. Even the colony of New Amsterdam in Manhattan, established by the Dutch in 1624, remains as Amsterdam Avenue in the Big Apple till today. The city of Paris, captured alternatively by the Romans, the Franks and even Hitler during World War II, has had the same name for 1,600 years. But the brutal killing of a 46-year-old unarmed black American George Floyd by a white police officer in Minneapolis, US, led to a statue toppling spree in the United States against slave owners that included the 7th US President Andrew Jackson and a host of Confederate generals who formed a coalition of 7 southern states fighting for white supremacy and their right to slavery during the American Civil War and seceded from the United States. They lost. Toppled statues in this recent spree included someone Indians may recognize, Christopher Columbus, for being a racist and for genocide. The movement quickly spread across the Atlantic to the UK and Europe, generating anger against imperialists, slave traders, racists like former Prime Minister of the UK Winston Churchill, whose actions saved England from Hitler during World War II, and sexual predators who, against all logical belief, included our very own Mahatma Gandhi statue in London's Parliament Square. By pulling down statues, demonstrators only succeeded in doing what the statues themselves had forgotten how to do: make us remember. Because of statues being broken, more Indians now know that Periyar and the parties he inspired, DMK and to some extent ADMK, now AIADMK, are all supposed to be anti-caste rationalists and atheists. What seemed right or heroic at some point in history may not be true today. Just 100 years ago, polygamy was common. Today it is a crime. Imagine if a law was passed tomorrow that a man must cook as many meals for the family as the wife. Could you be considered a criminal based on today's actions? Unfortunately, people of an earlier era who lived by customs prevalent in those days are being judged by today's standards. Instead of toppling statues, these people should use their energy to alter laws and make real change instead of paying lip service to political correctness. Just like the dropping of the word fair from Fair and Lovely cream, but which continues to be sold for the very same underlying reason. After invading Iraq in April 2003, US Marines pulled down the massive Saddam Hussein statue in Baghdad's Firdaus Square to loud public cheering. 17 years later, the people of Iraq are still miserable. The toppled statue did nothing to help their lives. In 2001, the Taliban in Afghanistan destroyed the Bamiyan Buddhas. Did it help them make things better? But history has a habit of repeating itself. As earlier Indian icons fall, new ones are being built. Noida's Elephant Park has B.R. Ambedkar, Jyotirao Phule, Kanshiram and Mayawati. The world's tallest 182-meter high Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel statue was recently built on the Narmada River in Gujarat, and many more are on the way. Mahatma Gandhi disapproved strongly against political statues, and Nehru too foresaw the divisive politics of competitive statue erection.
It is a waste of funds, which is better used to reduce poverty.
India doesn't have a tradition of erecting statues. Our statues have been restricted to temples. Maybe our forefathers knew a trick or two about the human mind and felt a statue inside a temple would be much safer than one outside. Bisbo's limerick: tearing down statues is a symbolic act. It won't change your life, and that's a proven fact. Instead, let's celebrate and remove the hate, because history has a nasty habit of coming right back. Subscribe to Bisbo and click on the bell icon to get notified whenever Bisbo releases a new video. Sources of all our information is listed in the video description section.